The Boston Greeks podcast is here and ready to bring Greekness back.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Boston Greeks podcast. We are here, well not we are here, I am here down in DC, but my heart is back in Boston as always. It never left and it will never leave. But I am here. I want to go to the inauguration tomorrow and cause an insurrection or something. I don't know.
Nice.
But I'm Ari. Thanks for joining us and listening. With me, my main man, Foti, who's up in Boston, who's a real G up in Boston. What's up, Foti?
What's up, Ari? Reporting live from the Beantown.
Dude, if I actually had any guts, I would actually go down tomorrow and film for real and
That'd be awesome.
See martial law come under or whatever the hell is going to happen,
Well,
or
maybe,
whatever people
maybe
believe
you can drive like from a distance and take video.
I'll see.
Yeah, man.
Anyway,
interesting times.
I personally am hopeful of a new era for us starting tomorrow. That's just me, but
Yeah, I think we've all been waiting for a new, fresh start again.
yes, because the last 4 years have left me feeling like I want to shoot myself in the brain. Take it as you will, but that's what I feel.
Well,
if you have a problem with that, you come see me.
I think the last 8 months have felt like 4 years.
Oh, even worse. But
I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even remember what it's like pre-COVID anymore.
don't say that. Don't say that. We gotta get over it, and we gotta get back to how things were. I don't think they'll be exactly how things were, but I mean, at least we'll be able to do
anything slightly better than what we're dealing with is good.
Listen, the next couple of months are gonna be a complete horribleness.
Yes.
But then that's when it's slowly gonna start to get better.
Okay.
The vaccines are going to start kicking in. The winter cold inside is going to start passing. If you remember from last summer, those were the lowest numbers we had during the pandemic. So obviously, when it starts to get nicer, the numbers will go down. Even though we got these new strains and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to depress everybody.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I was told today that we're about 60 days till spring. So
that sounds nice. I like that.
Right? So we're 2 months away.
Well, I mean,
officially.
Two people in my family have been vaccinated, so that's a good sign. I don't know when me and you, because we're in that demographic of the last people.
Well, don't you know somebody that can get us the vaccine?
I don't know.
Greek style?
The way I see it, if my wife is one of the first line,
right,
then I should be in line because I got to deal with her.
Go tell them that you need two doses and then give me one.
Yeah. I got to deal with my wife who's in the first line, and I have to deal with her just, yelling at me all day. So I should get the vaccine.
Double whammy.
Yeah. The vaccine of her not yelling at me all day. Did they invent that yet?
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of us that are listening that would think that would be a great idea.
We're also going to get some hate mail. We love all the women out there. We love you all.
Absolutely.
So before we get into our first guest, I just want to say exciting news. We submitted our latest app to the App Store and Google Play. The Artisan Greek producers, cool, sustainable, organic, wherever it applies.
All natural
shop for Greek products. So get excited, people. It's coming. What do you think? You think good?
I think that we're onto something. I think that all of our fans, guests, members, subscribers, you name it, I think we'll be very pleased with the fact that there's going to be an idea, a concept, and a platform that's going to actually allow those who are looking for products or have come across it, that's really going to, I think, change the game and the view of Greek products as we know it.
Yeah, man. I agree with you. You said all of our fans, so you think all two of them are gonna love this?
Well, I think at least one out of the two, right? 50% is better than what's going on right now.
That's gonna be yeah. No, I think this is gonna be cool because we're bringing stuff that nobody else has, and everything
It,
is good for the environment and
I gotta
good.
say, it's been very uplifting and refreshing to know that there's so many creative artists in Greece. When I mean artists, it doesn't mean just music and so forth. I think there's an craftsmanship in producing products of their nature, whether it's agriculture, whether it's um, health and beauty.
Yeah,
There's so many cool things that are happening out of Greece that I would never even would have thought of is possible.
yeah, and one of our guys in Greece, one of our contacts, like he opened our eyes to like so much cool stuff
Yeah.
that I really didn't even like think Greece was doing, and they are. And you guys are gonna have like complete access, click of a button, a tap of a finger, and you're gonna have it right to your door. And what do we do? You think we should do like free shipping or anything like that? What do you think?
I think that there's no question about it. I think it needs to be free shipping.
Boom! Free shipping on everything.
In your face, free shipping.
It's going to be me and Foti bringing this stuff right to your door, and we're not going to leave until
Oh,
you actually eat or drink or wear or whatever.
that's
That's what
right.
you get. Now we lost all business, all potential business,
We're just gonna just drop stuff off at people's houses.
or we'll get some like lonely people that'll be like, "Sure, come on in."
But no, you know what? Think about it. What we're seeing is this renaissance of basically. I'm going to use the word ancient because a lot of what we're seeing are products that are basically replicating how Greeks lived 100 years ago,
Yes.
200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and they're reintroducing these products in today's modern approach that promotes longevity, well-being, uh, a clear state of mind. Like
Well,
all these things are necessity for us.
that's the thing. It's like they're going back to the roots of like taking out all the processing. Like in America,
You know,
we are complete and utter like victims of processed food, processed everything. You
look,
want to talk about Icaria? You want to talk about these blue zones? You want to talk about this healthy, like living to 100 and being completely sharp and being able to walk and being able to function?
I want
It's
to debate the fact that Icaria, that Greece has resorted to one location as a.
yeah,
I think I
I
think all
say
of
I
Greece should be Icaria. I
I
mean, sorry, all of Greece should be a blue zone.
But I say that just because that's the real popular in
But
culture, in pop culture. Icaria is the known one of the
look,
longevity.
how often do you get bombarded or you come across in all of your feeds all these uh, apps and services that are trying to teach people how to live better,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Everything.
And people sign up for these services. They download the apps. They want to follow some regiment that tells them how to live better. And meanwhile, you visit a country like Greece, and it's basically how they've lived forever.
Yeah.
And
I
the
mean
principles are very basic.
that started to get really popular within our radar in America with like the whole Greek yogurt thing
Yeah,
and like
and
so
it's the Mediterranean
Mediterranean diet.
diet.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond that. I mean, if people really, you know what I think? I think people should invest with when they want to invest in their health and their well-being, they should invest in a trip to Greece for a couple of weeks and kind of soak in what's happening, that energy, that chemistry, that environment.
All right. So what you're saying is 100% correct. Now, I'm gonna segue a little bit. You want
Okay.
to go to Greece, then you got to listen to our guest coming up.
That's right.
Because this guy is all about Greece. He's all about promoting Greece. He's all about promoting the travel. He has like, you know what? I'm not going to say too much because you'll hear it from his mouth. All I got to say is how much I hate this guy for getting that Instagram handle. I'm not even going to say it. You're going to hear it from him. But
now you sound like a sore loser.
No. Sore loser.
Just kidding.
How did he get that damn handle? I want to know. But you know what? We're going to hear it from him.
Absolutely.
But the truth is, he's an awesome dude. We love him. We've known him for a long time. But like, he's doing cool stuff, and you know, let's get into it.
Definitely a pleasure to have him here.
All right. So, without further ado, let's welcome our guest on this week's podcast. And I'm not going to say anything, and we're just going to jump right into it.
So welcome to the show, Tony. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. We've known each other for quite some time, you know, probably from the basketball days of Goya. So not to date ourselves, but I think that probably maybe like 25, maybe 30 years on my end, at least.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, the years are passing for sure.
That's unbelievable. I can't believe we're old enough to say something was 25, 30 years ago.
Ouch.
Yeah.
But, you know, since the basketball days of Goya and so forth, you know, you've had an interesting journey, which we'll discuss in a moment in what you're doing today. For our listening audience, why don't we start basically where in Boston you grew up? Which church did you go to? And some of those fun facts, as you know, as a Greek from Boston.
Yeah,
sorry.
Sure. I grew up in Boston. What
neighborhood?
Yeah, so the three neighborhoods. So when I was growing up young, it was Jamaica Plain and Rosendale. Rosendale was when I was like very, very young, but then most of it was in Jamaica Plain. Then moved to Dedham as a teenager. I've always been in the Brookline area for work, as the family business was located in Brookline, and right in Brookline is where Hellenic College is, and that's where we all balled up and hooped.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you're in the church of the
parish? Oh, the church is St. Ignatius in Rosendale.
St. Ignatius Rosendale. Sorry, Ari, but we're outnumbering you in this podcast.
I realize there's just not a lot of people from where I am. You guys are all are you guys considered South Shore? No, you're not South Shore.
No, inner city. I think inner city Boston.
Yeah. So then I guess I would be kind of grouped into that, right?
Yeah, on the other side.
On the other side.
So yeah, so very similar upbringing and environment. And, you know, going through the church programs of Goya, you know, we all signed up for Goya basketball. And I'm sure we all grew up with local rivalries with other churches, right?
For sure. That's what pushed that league.
Right. But looking back, I think it was, you know, so well needed to keep us together, even though we had this rivalry amongst other cities and towns, but it kept us together, which I thought was pretty impressive that you don't see that today as much as before.
Right. No, for sure. I mean, everyone always assumes it's all about the basketball, but at the end of the day, the relationships you build there, the continuity of friends you have with the rest of your life is unmatched.
And we're going to mention that, you know, as the founder of the Teddy K Classic, you know, I was a good friend with your dad. I played ball with your dad. Your dad coached me as well. So, you know, I
Awesome.
remember those days of leading to the ranks of, you know, player to coach and to then become like a mentor for all of us. But yeah, I mean, it was a very important part of our experiences playing ball at Hellenic College. Let's dive into a little bit about how that got started.
So back in 2008, when he passed, right afterwards, immediately, I think a few weeks after, just the idea came up from it was actually a close friend of the family that recommended it. And immediately I said, yeah, it's a great idea. We got to do it. It's to run a tournament in his name. So that following spring, 2009, we had the first annual Teddy K Classic. And that first year, I mean, it wasn't big, but everyone that was playing in the Goya League that year joined. So we had, I'd say, like between the two divisions, you had the high school and the middle school, probably 12 teams. And now we're in our, 2019 was the last time we did it because of COVID, but we did 11 tournaments since, and now we're maxed out to 30 teams per year. We stretched it out to a 5-day tournament instead of a 3-day tournament, 4 divisions. and we've had people travel in from all around the U.S. I've had a few people come from Greece. We haven't had a full team from Greece yet, but it's come to the point where
Wow. So
basically what we do with the purpose, I mean, obviously is to bring everyone together in his memory, the camaraderie, but then what we do is with the funds each year that we net is we give out a scholarship to students heading off to university that are part of the program.
that's awesome.
That's
Good for
really
you guys.
cool.
That's really good.
Yeah, we've done 40 scholarships now since 2009.
Wow.
Have you seen a change in the involvement, the passion, the participation over the years through the program?
In the Teddy K Classic or the Goya League?
How about both? Each.
The Teddy K Classic has been consistently strong. The people do show up year in, year out. Even if they stop hooping, they'll still show up and just like talk about their old memories and stuff, or help out, or volunteer to help with like cooking the souvlaki outside, or helping at the desk, or
Nice.
just any way they can give back, or they come back as a sponsor for the program, just to help it keep it going. The Goya is up and down because you got waves where you just have that 4 or 5 year window for Goya kids. And if you get a team that's got 6 seniors now graduate, now that team's hurting for the next few years. They might skip a year. So you lose that community until they build up enough kids to come back. So it's a little bit up and down in the Goya because you have a smaller window where here you finish Goya. Now that hopefully that neighborhood puts together a men's team. So you get that group coming back as the young men's team that starts outrunning all the old timers who think they can still play, and then they get beat by the bunch of 19-year-olds who are in the best shape of their life.
Wow.
And so yeah, it's cool. It's got a lot of dynamics to it.
We got to do like a reunion tournament for all us 40-year-olds and see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and then a few years ago, we started doing like a Wednesday night men's league associated to the Teddy K Classic, more like a season league. And then I wanted to take it one step further and start doing like an over 35, just because like you put a premier high school graduate up against like these 30-year-olds. He's no matter how much stronger they are, they're just gonna outrun you. These kids are just nuts with speed.
That's good entertainment value right there.
Yeah, it is. You get to see the old timers get embarrassed by a 19-year-old, and I'm on the sideline smiling because I probably coached that 19-year-old kid in high school, and I'm like so proud of him. And he's coming back to me, goes, and I'm like, that guy's not bad, but I'm just really happy you just embarrassed him.
Nice. It seems like you've always had your hands full between professional, between basketball and I'm sure with home as well. But, now you're diving into another area that we've become very fond of what you're doing. And why don't you take us through the journey of, where you are today?
Sure. Basically over the years, after high school, after college, I jumped into family business. We had a company in Brookline that does promotional products, custom printed shirts, trophies, embroidery. Did that for about 15 years, and I just kind of wanted to find something new. I dove into real estate to allow me to give me the freedom to step away from that business a bit more. And then about 3 years ago, I had the opportunity to really jump into Greek tourism on a larger scale. And so then I basically said, I'm going to stop with the family business. I got out of that, relied on real estate to help me go on to this next chapter with this Greece tourism company, which I'm pandemic pending. Hopefully it launches this year. But basically what the company is on social media, particularly on Instagram, I have 2 pretty large Greece accounts. One is called just the word Greece, which is over 100,000 people now. And then the personal side of it is my personal travels, where I spend 3-4 months a year island hopping basically, and just like live streaming it, posting pictures, creating films, putting it all in there. That one's called I Am Greece. So they kind of intertwine together, the personality to the Greece page. So combined, we're close to 150,000 people now. And now plan is to build a company that is going to hopefully change tourism in Greece through using modern digital technologies, such as, let's say you're on a weekend trip in Santorini, you pull out your phone and you book a catamaran sunset tour. You pass the phone over to the guy at the boat. He scans it. You're in. The follow along travel series, like teaching culture, teaching the food, teaching the cuisine, teaching how to travel around Greece through like a film series, and then also podcast and any information that can help promote Greece, because we have a huge diaspora. And aside from that, we've become one of the top, I don't know, I'd say 1, 2, or 3 countries that people want to see now.
Sure.
Like every year we rank right up there with all of the other top ones.
That sounds like a lot of work, Tony.
Yeah,
A lot of work, brother. God
it
bless you.
is. It's fun. It gets exhausting, but at the end of the day, if you get to travel around Greece as work, then I am not complaining.
Now, you've been doing this for the last 3 years, you said?
Yeah, I started on this project about 3 years ago. I told myself I gave myself a 3 to 4 year window. Well, 3 year window. I'm stretching it to 4 now because of the pandemic. But yeah, the goal was to see what I can do with it in 3 years and then try to turn it into a company that helps Greece.
That's fascinating. So have you traveled to Greece prior to 3 years?
Yeah.
Frequently?
Yeah. No, I'd say even before I started doing this, even the previous 3 years before that, I would go to Greece. I wouldn't go 3-4 months.
Right.
I would go, but I still enjoyed it the same way I'm enjoying it now. I think now is just a little bit more. It's just as fun. It gets a little bit exhausting when you've hit a few 3-4 days where it's all work, but it's pretty cool to just say, you know what, I'm tired of this island. Let's hop on a boat and then have a collaboration with that boat company where you post a picture of their services and they throw you on the boat. That's not bad either.
So when was it that moment that gave you this idea that said to you, I need to do this?
The minute I got the Instagram handle Greece.
And how did you
Yeah,
get
that's
that?
incredible.
How did you manage that?
Right place, right time, really lucky.
Wow, I was going to say, do you have any family connections in the government?
Nah. I wish. The government wouldn't have gave that up.
No.
Yeah. Now, once I had that, I'm like, all right, this is like, that's actually where it started. Once I had that, I'm like, there's an opportunity here. Like, social media is blowing up. Let's not mess this up.
Yeah, man. That name, just that name itself is like.
Yeah. And it's opened up so many networking possibilities. The people I've met over the years because of networking with that account. Instagram has opened the door to I'd say like 90% of anyone I'm friends with now the last 3 years that are new friends are all come through this, where it's a Greek Americans, Greek Australians, Greek Canadians, or Greeks in Greece, or people that just have an interest in Greece and we've networked together and we've become friends through it. And we've met in person, so it's not just a social friend. And
you're into the filmmaking now. I see a lot of your short films, which, short films that say a lot.
Yeah. So Instagram recently released IG Reels. And at first I was like, oh, just a knockoff of TikTok. But eventually I started practicing how to use them and how can you sell a feeling in 15 seconds?
Right.
And that's what I've been trying to do is find these clips, stabilized videos where you're walking around these beautiful nooks of Greece, put a song that matches the mood. And man, these IG Reels have really, really helped my accounts. Really helped.
How often, Tony, when you're out there setting up, doing your filming, you get any like the local Greeks coming over to you and saying, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Not often. No, I don't get bothered. Well, first of all, that Santorini, my first film, Santorini, was shot in the middle of the winter in Santorini, so there was nobody on the island besides me. It was pretty.
I think Greeks are savvy enough now that it's not like out of the ordinary.
Oh yeah, no, there's
it's a tourist destination. Everybody's filming something.
And Greece has a huge filmmaking community, huge. And then this year I shot something in Paros, but like I said, it was so quiet this year that nobody was even in the shot. So like we were shooting winter style photography and film in the middle of the summer.
Well, how about, you mentioned a little bit, what was it like in Santorini during the winter versus being there in the summer? Like, what is the energy like?
The energy it didn't exist. It was basically, imagine having Ia as your own playground. It was that empty. There was more cats than people. You had the occasional person like walking their kid down for their afternoon walk. It was really unique. It would get mild for about an hour or two where you can take your jacket off.
Yeah.
Then the nights would get dark and cold. But I tried getting there about 4 or 5 days prior to arriving. But every day the ticket I bought for the boat, they canceled the boat because there was too much wind and rain.
Yeah.
Then eventually we got there. But man, that ride, I was scared for my life. The boat was literally rocking 90 degrees every way. It was, man. It was, they're like, we have an hour to go. I'm like, I don't know if we're going to make it. I'm going to jump off and swim.
Hopefully you didn't have anything to eat before you got on that ride.
Well, no, it took us 8 hours just to leave the Limani.
Oh, man.
Yeah, on that fourth day, I finally found this other boat company, and they're like, we're leaving. We're definitely going. I go to sleep in a cabin. I wake up 6-7 hours later. I look out the window. We're still in Athens. I'm like, oh my gosh. I walk out to the reception. He goes, ela, fermo, mi senhora, cazzo, mi figures.
Of buying time.
Yeah. And, but yeah, I'm happy I got there. I met up with someone that I met through social media, and she gave me like all the tips of like the ins and outs of like the unique places you got to see, not just the touristy stuff. She was great. Yeah, back to the connections that social media has created, where you meet, let's say, for instance, this person, she's someone who moved to Santorini, lives there year round, knows it in and out. We've connected through social media. So the minute she found out that I'm going, she's all about sharing and showing off her island to me. And now if I ever have any question about Santorini, it's like she's there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How today's technology can make things more either memorable, convenient.
Yeah.
I'm sure it helped you cut down a lot of time.
Yeah. If this was done back in the day, you're just going to show up there not knowing anyone. At least I had one connection. Right. And the plan was I'll meet up with her, we'll have coffee, whatever. And she was an awesome person. She loves the island immensely. To live there year round, I guess you got to be dedicated to that island.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, obviously they're two different worlds. Being in Greece in the summer and then being in Greece the rest of the year. Yeah, that's completely different. I'm sure.
And that was the first time I went to Greece in the winter. Was that last year? That year, 2020. And the first week was in Athens, and it was so cold. It was so wet, and I had scarves on, masks on. Not COVID masks, but right. It was brutally cold, but it was awesome because like you see it differently because you're not worried about getting to the beach as fast as possible. This was like, all right, enjoy Greece for what it is, and like go to a cafeteria for the afternoon and meet for coffee with somebody and just enjoy the atmosphere of people. Mm-hmm. Athens, it was pretty cool.
It's funny right now. It's about 50 degrees here in Boston, or mid 40s.
Yeah.
And I just saw images today in the Peloponnesos in Athens is snowing.
Yeah, all of Greece got snow apparently the last few days.
Even some of the islands, which is
cool. Yeah, that's pretty unique.
Unique. Tony, you're back from your trip. I'm sure you're probably working on compiling everything that you've captured over in Greece. This trip. But what are some of the projects coming up for you, or what's in the pipeline?
Well, there was the sequel to the Naked Santorini film, but I still haven't finished. The next location we shot was Naousa Paros. I haven't finished that project yet, but it's in the works. Other than that, it's finalizing the details of the Greece media company itself, and then officially launching in 2021. I had a ticket to be back in Greece 2 days after Christmas. I pushed that because of the lockdown, and luckily with today's world, you can just keep changing your ticket with no fees. So I pushed it to late February, so we'll see what happens.
Nice.
They'll probably get changed again. I don't think I'll be ready to go in February.
Yeah. I mean, we've all canceled our plans to go to Greece this past summer. I'm sure that's going to happen again this summer. Right. But at least we can use the time to work on stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. And that's what I've been doing since I've been back here, is just trying to fit. Like, I shot 2 terabytes of content, so that takes a while. And I did have some, like on the Naousa film, I didn't do that one by myself. I did have an assistant with me, and she was great shooting and organizing the content and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. Wow, man, this is fascinating stuff. I mean, it's great that we're seeing all these cool, innovative projects that are coming out of Greece with films. We had a recent guest that actually is doing similar things, but is shooting films in the vineyards of Greece with documentaries, things that we're able to see Greece in a different light that we weren't able to before. And I think these new approaches resonate so deeply than what we're used to from before.
Right. And that, what you said there is seeing in a different light. That's what inspired the Santorini film. I didn't want to shoot Santorini in the middle of the summer because everyone sees that. The reason I went there in the winter is because I told myself, you have a chance to shoot something that no one's seen before. No one goes there in the winter.
So let me ask you this, Tony. What was what fascinated you the most, or something you can tell us during the winter there in Santorini, as an example?
Basically, how without the summer haze, everything's so much prettier. Oh, wow. If it's sunny out. Right. Like the summer's nice, but now remove a little bit of that haze and you can see everything during the day. It's you're breathing in like crisp air. Mm-hmm. It's not hot. And
is it still windy too during that time of the year?
It is, but I caught the best 5 days you can catch. Like it rained for 10 minutes and it was 4 of the days were completely clear skies. One day was a mix of both, and which was actually good because one of the episodes is an episode that shows different weather patterns.
So do you see opportunities in, I don't even know what the term is for tourism, but off-season tourism? Is that even a term where people will visit areas that have other beauties to showcase other than the summer and the beaches?
It all depends if Greece wants to like tend to it, because like no one's gonna go there if nothing's open. Like I was at the point where I was able to pick between 1 or 2 restaurants at night, 1 or 2 cafeterias in the day around the island. The hotels, maybe 10% of them are open.
Well, we're hearing about the rising trend of agro-tourism, especially in Italy and France, and I'm sure Greece is also dabbling in these programs of bringing visitors to their respected areas to have an experience of what it's like to live like the locals. And hopefully that might be a new category for Greece's tourism, outside of summer.
That'd be kind of cool. Athens, I mean, is, in my opinion, should be, and it is a winter destination. Like Athens is really nice in the winter, and Greece tends to it. Like they expect it. But an island like Santorini, I don't know when that'll pick up as a winter destination, or if it will.
And speaking of winter in Greece, what about the northern parts of Greece and the mountain ranges for ski resorts and so forth?
So I was gonna go see Arachova, but the car rental I had didn't have 4-wheel drive, and everyone's telling me with the snow there, do not take this car there. But I wanted to go see Arachova. It's known as like their winter resort. And then few minutes up from there, they have a ski resort as well. That I haven't been yet, so I couldn't tell you, but it looks amazing in pictures.
I also want to mention an acknowledgement here that we're going to congratulate on your nomination for the Greek American Foundation's 40 Under 40.
Thank you.
Congratulations for that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You know, Greg Pappas has been part of our network for a while. And Greek American Foundation continues to do great things. And there I saw you popped up in the list. I was like, well, I know that kid.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It was pretty cool when I found out I was going to get nominated. And then it was even cooler when I realized a couple of people out of Boston got in there too.
Who else?
Well, a Penny got in, Melilidis with Kefi.
Oh, okay. Penny,
yeah.
Nice.
So she got in there, and I didn't know till the night before they announced, because they had sent me to review it, and I'm like, oh, Penny's in there. So shout out to Penny as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ari, if they ever do a 50 under 50, maybe we can be nominated.
There you go. Might be able, it'll probably take me till I'm 60, but it'll be cool.
Man.
There you go.
This is lots of good stuff, Tony. Anything else you want to share with us that you'd like our audience to kind of know about? What
website, the really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to learn more.
The real difficult Instagram handle.
Yeah. If you want to learn more about the company part, it's called Greece Media. It's greece-media.com. And on Instagram, I have Greece, and then I have I Am Greece. Every time I say it, it's always like Greece what? Or like what?
They're waiting for you to finish.
Yeah.
When's the merchandise going to come out?
I don't know. I kind of been... I'm not completely sold on the merchandise line yet.
All right. But you're going to keep us posted, though.
Yeah. If I ever do start doing swag, you'll be the first to know.
Well, I mean, I'm not in competition with you, Tony, but I have the handle Greece596834932. So I don't know if there's any competition, but that's my handle.
Hey, Tony, do you get people hitting you up because of what you're doing, just to ask you random recommendations about Greece?
Yeah, I do get that on the I Am Greece page a lot. Yeah. People want to know travel tips, all that good stuff. I mean, I'll give them a brief answer once in a while, but like to sit there and like break down ideas is time consuming. So I'll just lead them to my website and say, just follow along and you'll learn. But if it's more like, I'm going to be there in a month, do you recommend this or this? And it's an easy answer, I'll just say, go here. Perfect. I mean, I don't ignore everyone. I do see everything, but there's some stuff that it's just tough to reply to.
I was just going to say, it must be overwhelming when you get a lot of requests or questions based on, the platform you just created.
Right. I've seen so many, because I get tagged on the Greece account maybe 300 times a day. and a lot of people tag it not even knowing that the account exists, because they just tag and they're adding tags and they put, oh, Greece makes sense. So they'll type Greece. And then I get the notification. So
how distracting is that?
No, I don't actually get the notification. I turn them off.
Okay.
Yeah,
Turn
all
them
of them
off.
off.
You go
Yeah.
nuts if you
So
do.
if someone messages me on Instagram, there's a chance I don't see it hours or on the next day.
Okay.
Because my phone, I make sure there's no notifications. But what I was getting at is every part of Greece looks different, and not just the landscape. The color of the sky, the color of the sunset, the color of the water, the type of coastal lines. And it's reached a point after all these tags I scroll through every day, you can send me a picture of someone, don't tell me where it is, and cut out all the landscape, and I can 8 out of 10 times can nail their location.
That's awesome.
Someone sent me a video. All it was water hitting the sand at the sunset, and because of the color of the sunset, I'm like, you're in Crete. And he goes, how did you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
You're like the Greek Rain Man.
Yeah, like Rhodes has its own color. The Kenis have its own color. Obviously, Mykonos has its colors, and Santorini's got its colors. But the sky there in different areas, I've come to the point where I can differentiate the sky colors.
That's deep right there.
Yeah.
That's deep.
It's just too. It's a huge database of photos that I've seen.
You're gonna probably end up becoming someone's like virtual tour guide, or to some extent, because
Yeah, exactly.
That's a very, very, very cool, very interesting. You're doing good stuff, because I love the fact that you have a platform that can really push this out more so than just, somebody who's interested in Greece and wants to do something. That's you, but you also have this platform you built up, which makes it so much better. So kudos to you for
Thank
that.
you.
And I think you're going to be able to do cool things because you have the passion for it. You can tell just by talking to you. And if you could tell me where you are from the shade of light, then I'm going to go with the fact that like this guy loves his country. Loves the way he does.
I always liked art. Like that's what I went to school for, was video and graphics and video communication. So I feel like it's come full circle. Like this is sort of what I went to school for. I don't even want to say how many years ago that was. I'll say it. I guess it was almost 20 years now. But yeah, it's kind of cool that it's kind of come full circle, because after school I didn't pursue it, but now here it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the timing couldn't have been better. I think you're at it at the right time right now.
Yeah, I think right before the pandemic, Greece hit an all-time high in travel, and it's gonna recover. Like the minute this ends, we'll see what happens with Greek tourism. I think it's gonna be doing all right soon once we're clear.
Can you do you know? So we talk about the increase in tourism, but do you have an idea or number how many visitors go to Greece every year?
So I think the summer before the pandemic, I read that 35 million people went.
Wow.
And that went up by like 5 to 7 million from the previous year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
For a country that has about 11 million people.
Right.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
And even another interesting number we got is from Santorini. I'm not sure how correct this is, but I think the residents or the people that live on the island all year round are 10,000 people.
Right.
And they get over 1 million visitors a year.
Right. Yeah. It's nuts. And like, that's what I've noticed. The people that work there, they even told me, like a few people in Paros, because Paros has been rising. They work 3 months to take 9 months off. That's basically the lifestyle in the popular islands. Work hard 3 months in the summer, and then you got the next 9 off.
I don't know what I'd do with myself for 9 months.
Yeah, I know. Well, we learned with the pandemic. This quarantine's teaching us what to do with 9 months.
That's true.
But you could also spend that time doing something that you enjoy, as opposed to doing something strictly for financial.
Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely.
Hobbies and whatnot. So I'm sure.
Yep,
I wonder if that promotes longevity in life.
Taking it easy.
Working 3 months and taking it easy for 9 months.
It might. If you want to learn more about longevity in life, you got to go to Ikaria. They figured it out.
That's right. I know. We keep seeing that all the time.
125-year-old people there. I'll take it.
Wow. With no conditions.
It's when they say they have that longevity, it's not just like they're like in a coma at 100 years old. They're like active.
Yeah. It's wild.
Sharp in the brain. 100-year-olds.
Yeah, I always hear they say it's because of the local honey. They say because they take life really easy. I hear there, if you go sit down a cafeteria, it could be 30 minutes before they bring your coffee out, because they do it on their time. Like no stress free. And the person waiting for the coffee isn't expecting it either.
That's the thing.
Calaroni, he's chilling. Oh, here's the cafe.
Yeah.
Imagine that happening here.
I
Oh
would
my
I would
gosh.
laugh 5 minutes there.
You get all
What the hell?
the Karens will start throwing their purses around.
Oh man, social media would
You're
be
the
on
manager.
fire. Yelp would be on fire.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Thank you. And then also, I also have on Grease Media, I think I mentioned this briefly, but there's also a podcast that I've been working on called Grease Chats, where it's sort of like just find someone that's Greek, that's doing something, sort of like a Tim Ferriss type of show for Greeks.
And they can
I'm
find
doing
it on
that.
all the platforms.
Yeah, no, it's on all the platforms called Grease Chats by Tony Kariotis. I recently interviewed an entrepreneur out of New York who just launched his first startup, and there's been some other cool interviews on there.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, we'll list the websites, the handles, and the podcast on
Great.
this episode when we post it. So if they don't remember Greece as a handle, we'll have it posted there for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was great, man. Real happy to hear all this stuff, and real happy to hear that Greece is still in the forefront in so many people's minds, and that there's so much love and affection for it, where you could create this like really cool media company out of these platforms that you're starting and people's interest. And
Right, no, for sure.
It's awesome.
And it's crazy how much, like, I always thought growing up, all right, we're proud to be Greek, yeah, but like, it is real how much the diaspora cares about being Greek.
Yeah,
It is real. It's a daily thing. I always thought, all right, we show it off here and there. No, it doesn't stop, and it's cool to see that with like everybody.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I mean, we built a company for like over 20 years ago, just based on the small community of Greeks in Boston.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
And it's
I remember that.
like I think I'm Greek, so it's biased, but I really do believe in everything that I've seen, everything I've read, people that I've met, places that I traveled, that Greece is probably up there for the pride, the love, and like just the natural beauty of it. It's like you're not going to find anywhere else like that. And nobody believes me.
Sure.
Check out Tony's videos, check out everything he's doing, and you'll see for yourself.
Gentlemen, another great podcast. I want to personally thank Tony for coming on to the program. We want to make sure that this is not the only time. We'll have you back on with us when you've got more things
Anytime you
going on.
want.
Yeah, man.
Get it?
Get some updates, and
Yeah, for sure.
Every time something new is going on, or you're promoting anything, you let us know, because all the Greeks should stick together, and we got to support each other, and it's all good as long as
for
it's
sure. No, I appreciate you guys asking me to come on, and we keep in touch, and I'll definitely hop on anytime else you guys want.
And also,
Awesome.
how's your sister?
She's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of you people in I don't know how long. It's been like the Greek nights back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. The good old days.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah.
All right, man. Foti, anything else?
That's it, Ari. If you want to give us the honor of the signing off.
Yeah, we just want to thank Tony Kariotis again so much. We're going to list all his media handles, his website, everything, his podcast, everything. Check it out. It's really cool. Unfortunately, it's a little too bright over here, but I've been playing some of his stuff back here. Don't watch it here. Go to YouTube, go to his website, go to his Instagram for sure, and check it out for yourself. Awesome stuff. Tony, thank you so much. Foti, thank you. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
All right, and there you have it, folks. Tony Kariotis. If you remember from my intro how much I hated him for getting that handle, but come on, he got Greece as a handle. Like, how do you do it? Who gets that? I couldn't even believe it.
I keep double checking if it Greece something, but it's just Greece. Right?
It's just Greece.
But no, that was great. That was just a great time with Tony, and I kind of feel like I want to book a ticket to go to Greece now in the winter.
Yeah, I had his video playing. I've been watching it, and it really makes me long.
There's something about that whole feeling of peace.
Yeah,
that I think we all need moments of peace.
We do. We absolutely do, especially today, especially now, especially in this climate, especially in this everything. We need peace. We need peace. Everything is in upheaval. And it's just
well, that was great. I'm glad that we got to have Tony on the segment. Really cool things that he's doing. We're definitely going to follow him. Hopefully one of these days, whenever we can actually be there while he's doing more of his films.
Well, look, we said this earlier, and I'll say it again. By this, I know a lot of people say by summertime things won't change that much, but you know what? I really think things are going to be a little bit better. They're not going to be 100%, but they're going to be a little bit better by this summer.
For sure.
I mean, we have vaccines rolling out. Vaccines going to be consistently rolling out. You know, even I read today that Biden's 100-day plan. You know how every president, when they come in, they have a 100-day plan for their first 100 days. Yeah. He wants to like jack the vaccines up like crazy. So with that, with the warmer weather coming, I think the summertime should be a little bit more pleasant. Not 100%, but definitely better than what it is now.
We're going to keep hoping and praying that things move along quickly.
They will, man. You know, it would help. Everybody does their part, thinks of their fellow man. Don't be selfish, self-entitled people of like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Like, just do what you got to do so we could get through this and we can get past.
Exactly. Well said.
And then once we get past it, Footy, we got some stuff lined up for people. We got cons, we got galas, we got wine events, we got radio
reunions,
we got reunions, we got throwback, we got so much going on, people. Like, if you don't do it for anybody else, do it for us. Let's get past this, just so me and Footy can do all the stuff we want to do. You know, and you know what's actually coming soon, which pandemic doesn't even affect this, but we're going to do a cool tell us about the DJ gala we're going to have online right now.
I think that it's well needed. I think that we've been leading up to this without knowing that we were going to lead up to it, but we've been forever trying to get our entourage of DJs for the last 20 years who's been in our team, you know, to be a part of our podcast interviews. And then all of a sudden, collectively, we said, screw it. Let's get everyone together. Let's get the band. The band is back, right?
Get the band back together.
When we started to list all the names of our team members, we got like more than half a dozen guys that are going to be joining us in an upcoming episode who represent, you know, the music element of all of our events, whether they were weekly Greek nights, holiday Greek nights.
It's
the pre-game show to concerts.
It's the 90s,
the mother
2000s.
of all prayer.
The 90s and 2000s represented by these dudes.
And I mean, these are the people that really were a big component of creating the experiences that people have had back then.
Footy and I, you know, we're always bragging about being the guys who brought you the Greek scene of the late 90s, all through the 2000s. But you know what? We did a certain element of it, you know, the picture galleries and the promotions and the just being out there. But these guys are the guys who actually brought the whole vibe. Like, they brought the music. Without the music, I mean, we're Greek nights. What is that without music? What is that without good music? It's nothing. So these guys are responsible for like the whole vibe of what we brought in those late 90s and all through the 2000s.
And, you know, all these guys are going to basically, you know, kind of tell us their story individually, you know, what they were responsible for as far as the venues they played for us, how long they've been with us, what are the most memorable moments that they were part of, one of the most memorable experiences that they produced for us.
I know that they're all scared because I got stories about every single one of these dudes. Personal stories.
That's going to be part of our After Dark segment.
And you know what else is funny? I probably have video as well. I'll give you a brief, short little story of what you could expect. I was at a Greek night with two of our friends, and I was supposed to do the little speech at the end of the night, and I was so drunk I could barely talk.
No way.
Believe it.
Okay.
So I end up puking on our friend's CDs there, and I have a video clip of him coming out of the DJ booth and absolutely like bitching about what an asshole.
But see, that's what it was all about.
I mean, it was awesome. We laugh about it. Like, you know, it's like brothers. Like, you get mad and you fight, but like, it's just all in good fun. And he was pissed, but like, we laughed and we talk about it. We watched the video. Like, it's that kind of vibe. So yeah, all these dudes have a story. All these dudes are involved in
Do we
Boston's back.
Do we announce the lineup now or keep people in suspense?
Well, I mean, as long as everybody's confirmed.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
We heard from everybody, right?
Yeah, pretty
All
much.
right, hit us with some lineup.
So, we're going to have representation from the early days. And when I mean early, I think it's when R and I were getting into places with fake IDs.
Yeah.
That's like early 90s. So, in the lineup is the godfather of all, Peter Solaris is going to be with us,
Osuchleris.
right? And then, Peter's been a mentor and father figure to these guys who include, DJ Seven,
Seven, the man.
right? DJ Seven, DJ Manis,
Money's that mofo. I won't even say anymore.
and then moving along, DJ Nico.
Nico.
Right? And then
How many stories do we have about Nico?
we can have a whole series just on Nico.
No, I think this is going to be a series. I don't think this is
But-
going to be an episode.
Along with that, going down the lineup, DJ Thriller.
The smoothest criminal of all.
We had a duo that went under a certain name. What they call the Freakas?
They were called the Freakas. They were called all sorts of stuff. But Chris Barayos, John Spiritakos,
They'll be with
these guys are the closest to my heart because they were actually like my really good friends back
Right.
then. They kind of remind everybody has a kind of like vibe to them.
Yeah,
Chris and John were like the brains. They like knew their stuff. They knew
they were
the
methodical.
equipment. They were like the brains of the organization. You know what I mean? Seven was like the young stud. Monty was like this really like energetic, like he was so into it. Solaris was like the godfather. Thriller was like that, the smoothest of the smooth. And then you got Mike Blatra, who's like literally
Well,
the nicest dude on the planet.
That's the other duo. So we got a brother duo, Mike
Yeah.
and Costa. We're gonna also be in the lineup.
Mike, the nicest guy in the world. Costa, who everybody knows, he literally is like just the DJ for everybody. Like he's done it all. Like this is an amazing group of individuals.
These are individuals, as you mentioned, that whether when you were in that scene for those last 20 years, so the places that you were going to visit, you were going to bump into at least one of these individuals. So whether you were on Lansdowne Street,
Yeah.
whether you were at the Alley in Boston, whether you were at Caprice, Aria.
I mean, any of our
Yeah.
events, which were like pretty much all the events at a
Right.
certain point, like it was just these guys. Like we never worked outside of this group right here.
And most people look back, think about the work involved to constantly produce weekly Greek events for how many years, right?
Now you're getting into like some craziness.
We're getting
because
deep right now.
It was tough. Well, I'd give anything to go back to those days, man.
Definitely. So that's why we're gonna keep all of our fans and audience informed that we're planning a lot of great I don't know whether we call them throwbacks, reunions, but we're definitely gonna bring back some element to remind us of the good times of the past.
Absolutely. All
So
right.
yeah, so a lot of good stuff coming up, Ari. A lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff.
And a lot of good guests in our lineup coming.
Yeah, man, we got people from every walk of life, every like background, every career, everything. It's all coming. Just stay tuned. The next few months, like we said, we're gonna hunker down, get on the computer, get on your iPhone, your Android, whatever. Listen, watch, and we'll entertain you for as much as we can. And then once stuff gets better, we're gonna kill it out there. Kill it. Concerts, galas.
And let everybody know not to forget, download our app.
Download all 8, 6, 7, 8 of our apps.
Yes.
But yeah, especially the new one coming out. Greek is on.
Get your Greekazon on.
Amazon's lawyers are going to be calling us soon, but that's okay.
Have like your mother-in-law pick up the phone and act like she don't speak English.
Dude, she will tell him a new one.
Yeah, man. No, a lot of exciting stuff that we're keeping that flame going, brother.
It's all good. It's all good. We go through dark times, and you got to see the light. And the light's coming, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna entertain. We're gonna get people together. It's all good.
And
all good.
One thing I want to also mention, Ari, for those that are listening to our segments, if you've got someone that you want to recommend that should be on our segment, they should reach out to us. Send us an email, hit us up.
On the Boston Greeks app, we have a form. So just if you can go there and fill that in and let us know who you want us to talk to, and we'll get on it.
Awesome.
Your uncle, Yorgo, or the Greek butcher down the street.
Every Greek has a story.
Everybody. And actually, the Greek butcher down the street will probably have the best one.
Absolutely. Dude, I've come to a point in my life that I love listening to older Greeks.
You know why, Foti? Because you're old.
Well, I think, well, I'm going to at some point be that person that's going to tell you stories.
I already see it. I love it.
Well, listen, on that note, my glass is empty.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Go fill that, man. All right, people. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Tony, for your story and for everything you're doing. And stay tuned because we have a whole bunch of cool guests coming up next week. I don't know. Do we know who's next week?
Yeah. So we have Manny Fragedakis.
Oh, that guy.
Manny. Well, Manoli, but we call him Manny. Manny Fragedakis will be with us on our next episode.
All right, so stay tuned, and we'll be posting. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all for listening, watching. And if anybody watching can guess what this movie is, we're going to give you a free CD. Text us, fill out the form. Do it. Goodbye.